Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing through Sleeping Gods Distant Skies. I got a review copy of this one at PAX Unplugged, and I am so excited to try it out. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else, top 10 lists and such. We have over 50 of them now. You can also listen to our weekly podcast, or come and join the conversation on our Discord. So Sleeping Gods Distant Skies is another narrative-based adventure game like Sleeping Gods before it. A lot of the mechanics are the same or similar. A lot of them have changed. We'll get into all of that as we play, but let's jump right in with the story and get going. We left the bay late in the day on a last-minute cargo run. My cousin Jessie came along to see her father in Hawaii. An art trader kept an eye on one of his rare collections. It was bound for a backdoor sale in Honolulu. His assistant and soon-to-be son-in-law was along to detect possible art forgeries. Not long into the flight, Eugene and I spotted something ahead. It looked like a giant eye made of light, and it pulled at the plane like a magnet. In a flash of light, the glittering sea below turned into a cloudy valley surrounded by icy cliffs. As we circled back to search for the eye, an apocalyptic screech shook the plane. A primeval terror was pursuing us. There's another one. Yeah, they're dead. It's right behind us! We barely escaped. As we navigated the unfamiliar peaks, Eugene spied an encampment in the heart of a green valley. We decided to land and get our bearings. Thank God you arrived! I never thought I would get back to Oslo! A man emerged from the tent and introduced himself as Henrik Cragg. You've entered a strange world, my friend, and getting back to Earth won't be easy. Almost every passenger from my plane is lost or dead. Can you help me find the survivors? We will need to use your plane to get back. The monster destroyed mine. There's a woman just north of here. She says she can make the monster sleep so we can pass unharmed. It's our only chance now. A distant moon blinked through the haze when we set out to find the woman that could help us get home. But we got lost along the way. Some wanted to turn back. But no, they didn't, because we're skipping the tutorial and just getting right to the gameplay. We met a man named Azarius. He led us to the foot of a great boulder covered in carved letters and a crescent moon. There in the fog a woman stood, her face and hair glimmering with tiny stars. She told us her name was Meecra, and that she was a god. We tried to ask her for help. Surely a god could get us back through the portal to our home, but she silenced our pleas. The gods have grown weak since we wakened 8 years ago. Our power has only diminished. You wish to return to your world, and I can help you, but you will need to help me as well. The god Orfash seeks to destroy me. To survive, I must have the power of the totems. These special stones have been drained of their power and hidden away, lost and mostly forgotten. But if you find them and the right ingredients, I can rejuvenate the totems, regain my power, calm the monster that guards the portal to your world, and defeat Orfash. I have a few dormant totems to give you, and Azarius can help you find more. He will know where to look and how to find me when you are in need. Now go. The portal to your world won't stay open forever. Once it closes, many years will pass before it opens again. All right, and with that, we get into the game proper, and we can just go wherever we want. We could visit Meecra again in 6. We can move down here to the campsite where our plane is currently parked. Go check out this forest, or these rocks, or that waterfall. But first, Meecra gave us some quest cards. So first of all, we take this one, 128, and it says, place this card face down beneath the top 8 cards of the event deck. When you draw it, turn to 98. This counts as your event card draw. So we've got a little timer going on here. We're going to draw 1 event card each round, and here is this bad boy hiding a little bit down. And then Meecra also gave us, like she said, 4 totems that need to be recharged. Each of these has some rare ingredients we can find. These are not easy to find at all. But if we can get all the indicated resources, we can spend them to activate one of these and unlock a different adventure card that will give us cool powers. We've also got some adventure cards. If there was more than one player, these would be divided amongst them, but in solo I just have all of them. And these can generally be used at any time. They're things like luck mitigation, adding to your skill checks, getting resources, lots of things on here. Additionally, we've got these Fate ability cards. These are what you draw when you take skill checks. You'll see that in a moment, I'm sure. But additionally, I can discard the indicated number of other cards in the upper right-hand corner to attach one of these to one of my characters and permanently level them up, giving them +1 to the indicated stat and also access to the indicated power. So like if I wanted to make one of my characters have a bear nose for honey, I could discard 2 other cards and attach this to somebody. And speaking of characters, we got 5 of them in Distance Gods. I think there were 9 in the original Sleeping Gods. Claire is the captain, and she's sort of like the main character, so a lot of the narration is supposed to be being read from her perspective. And then we've got the characters you already met. Her cousin, the guy she was bringing to Honolulu, and his future son-in-law, and Azarius, the helper of Meecra that's helping us out. They each have 3 of these stamina tokens. You can spend those to have them use an ability or apply their stats on the right here, which will be boosted by those cards I mentioned. You can apply those to skill checks. And they each have their own health track as well before they get knocked out. And then a few other things. We've got our supply of stuff over here. We start out with a few basic resources. We've got the event cards and ability cards we'll be drawing from. And then we've got our plane, which can fly around, sort of fast travel, if you will. But right now it's on Henrik's camp at that one spot we saw. All right, so with all that being said, the first step of each turn is to draw 2 more ability cards. And I got Quick and First Aid. We won't worry about those until I soon want to equip some of them to boost my characters. Then we draw an event card, and in this case, it's a level 3, which means it's tougher. Frost. The temperatures are dropping rapidly, covering everything in ice. Alright, so this is an obstacle symbol. There are several different types of these. Usually you encounter them when you walk around on the board. In this case, if I had an item that said it could ignore frost, like a warm coat or something, I could stop that. I don't have anything that can do that. So I'm going to take 3 damage, divided as I choose among my characters, and 1 weaken condition. Which means they'll have -2 to all their skills until I can find a way to get rid of this. Well, ain't that just lovely? Let's say Cousin Jessie is kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. She doesn't have anything she doubles up. So let's say she's weakened for now. Sorry, Jessie. Ooh, but I just saw Miguel must have a little bit of doctor training because he can spend 2 of his stamina tokens to get rid of weakened on a character. That's great. Okay, but now with the frostbite dealt with, we get to take the actual turn. So how it works is we have this little time token here, and we're going to tick it down as we take actions, mostly traveling and exploring locations. And when it gets to the bottom or second to bottom most space, we can stop. If we stop one above, we'll give ourselves +1 action the next turn. If we go to the very bottom, then we have to stop. And there is the camping action. You can do this pretty much whenever you want. You get all your stamina back for each character. You heal each character 2. Each character can get rid of 1 status. You get back all your bonus adventure cards you can use for cool abilities. But unlike the original Sleeping Gods, where the events were the main timer, camping is now the main timer. We're doing a standard campaign, so if we go to these last few spaces, we're going to have some things happen, and that's going to trigger the end, I would assume. I haven't gotten that far yet. Another action you can do is to travel 1 orthogonal space for 1 time. If you move into an obstacle, one of those diamond things I showed you a moment ago on the frost obstacle, then you'll take 3 damage. You can explore for 2 time on a location with a number. You can fly the plane for 2 time and a fuel if you're on the plane space. And you can fix the plane because you can get damaged sometimes for 1 time. But really, these are going to be your bread and butter right here, traveling and exploring. And speaking of, let's go ahead and explore space 6 to see if Meecra has anything else to tell us real quick. So that's going to be 2 of our 5 time for the day. And because it's number 6, we go to the book entry for number 6 and we get to make some choices. Mountain winds tickle the ochre grass, brushing the valley until thousands of stalks sway like waves on a yellow sea. Meecra's shrine, a monolith carved with a crescent moon, casts a long, dark shadow, like a patch of night that has not yet melted away. A thick cloud gathers around the base of the boulder, and Meecra strides out. "How goes your search?" "Well, not very well, Meecra. We haven't started." "We must hurry!" Or, oh no, what did she sound like? "We must hurry, or fast grows stronger the longer we wait." So we can ask Meecra to tell more about the totems, or ask where to find the totems. Well, let's go ahead and start out with 6.1. "The power of the totems is linked to the power of the gods. As the gods have grown weak, the power of the totems has faded. If you rejuvenate enough of them, I will have the power to make the Heltark sleep and allow you to go home." Meecra picks a dried red blossom and crushes it in her fingers. The peppery aroma soon has your eyes watering. "The burning of this sunrose is strong but momentary. The power of a totem now fades just as quickly. To return their power, you can use local herbs, though sometimes it takes more precious ingredients. But there are maps and clues to help you find them. Here, take this one." "Yeah, Meecra, give me something for my time." Ooh, let's friggin' go. Look at this. When on this exact Atlas square, spend 1 time to search for treasure. We would do a really tough observation check, but depending on how we do, we can find some stuff. Oh, and if we fail, then we get to keep the card. That's cool. But yeah, so we need to find this exact place, and I'm just looking at the map. Nope, there's literally no brown ground like that anywhere around here. So that's cool. And then it sends us back to 6, so let's read 6.2. This is where I asked about totems. Meecra shakes her head. I wish I knew where the totems are. They've been scattered every way the wind blows and hidden in the shallowest pockets and the deepest graves. The best thing to do is keep your ears open and your mind sharp. Something so powerful isn't easy to hide. What about Orphash? You said he plans to destroy you. Yes, that's true. But if you bring me enough totems, perhaps he won't succeed, and I can get you home. Alright, well that was 2 time for a single cruddy map. So where should we travel to now? We could go up here to like kind of this craggy spot, or down here to the camp. I mean, that might be a smart thing, right? Because theoretically they're around here and know where things might be. So I'm going to spend 1 time to travel here, and my last 2 time to explore number 1. Okay, you have a lot of keywords in the game. It's like the original version. If I had quest cards with these words on them, I would do something special. I do not. Henrik rests near a smoky fire. A piece of spit-skewered meat sizzles over the dancing flames. Okay, we got some options. We can examine Henrik's collection of books and maps with a skill check. Savvy, with 7 being the challenge level. Ask Henrik where the lost passengers went. Ask Henrik what happened to his plane. Check on your plane's cargo. And leave. Well, I want to do all these things. But let's show you how a skill check works and actually get to some mechanics in the game. So the skill check was a 7 Savvy, this blue symbol, and the first way I can boost my chances to pass a skill check is to, from as many characters as I want that have Savvy, spend stamina from them, and that contributes the full value of their icons to the skill check. So if I did it for Azarius, it would get me 2, but if I did it for Ed, it would get me 1, and for Jessie, who doesn't have that icon at all, it would get me 0, even if she wasn't weakened. And then I would draw the top card of the ability card deck, and here's my hand looking at the number in the upper left-hand corner. And around 50% of the time, it'll give you a 5 or higher, and then you get lower values the other 50% of the time. So the less you need from the random draw, the easier it's going to be, but it's always at least 1. And then after the draw, you can use mitigation abilities. You can discard ability cards to gain the bonus icon indicated. You can use abilities to like redraw the fate card, use adventure cards to redraw or boost, lots of things. But let's not forget that we can also level our characters up. So I want to start there. I'm going to make Azarius learn some first aid. It costs 1 other card. And let's see. I have multiple of the like little wolf's head cards and multiple. I'm going to get rid of this bear nose one. That's 1 card to pay for first aid. And now Azarius knows first aid. So once per turn, he can spend the stamina to give somebody +2 health. But additionally, he's got 3 savvy instead of 2. So I think Azarius by himself can probably examine Henrik's maps. He'll probably be strong enough, I think. Because that puts me at a 3 out of 7. I only need a 4 or better, which is like 60% odds or something like that. So let's see how we do. Hey, a 7 straight up. I didn't even need Azarius in the first place. A gently folded parchment falls from one of Henrik's journals. It's a map leading to a temple in the mountains to the northwest. Oh, we deciphered a map of a temple in the mountains to the northwest of Henrik's camp. I assume that's gotta be this, right? Remember, the obstacle only takes 3 health away when you move into it, so I can afford to go there at some point. Okay, that takes me back to 1. Let's just kind of go through these options. So let's ask Henrik where his lost passenger friends went. Help me with supper, and I will tell you what I know. Mike totally knows what an Oslo accent sounds like. I'm just a linguist by nature. Henrik hands you a smooth clay pot of dried herbs. They all split up as soon as we met Meecra. What accent is it? Some went looking for totems. A few of us stayed here to wait for the other passengers to return. How many passengers were there, you ask? There were 20 when we landed, but not all are still alive. The twins and I were waiting here for the others to return with enough totems for Meecra, but now that we have you to help us, our chances are much greater. Twins? Ass said. I didn't see anyone else around. Yes, there was a young woman and her brother. They went to the lake to catch fish, but I haven't seen them in days. Alright, we gain quest 5, and adventure card 28, roast meat, let's eat. Alright, so it says 2 survivors. This is a twins one from Henrik's plane. Brother and sister went fishing at the lake to the east of Henrik's camp. Okay, I see where that is too. And then here's roast meat. I can spend a meat to heal 3, whereas usually you just spend meat to gain 1 stamina back for a character. And this is an adventure card, so this is single use. It gets discarded, and then whenever we rest, when we camp to, remember, get all our stamina back and heal some and all that stuff, we get all of our adventure cards back to use again. Alright, we gotta ask what happened to the plane. If your plane was destroyed when you came through the portal, how did you survive, you ask? Henrik's eyes betray an anger that his voice doesn't show. We landed safely, but Ibsen took the plane back up, the selfish bastard. Of course he didn't make it. The Health Arc got him, dashed the plane against the cliffs like it was a sparrow. Health Arc, you ask? You mean the monster? That monster is the guardian of the god eye, Henrik explains. That's what the locals call the portal. The Health Arc protects the world from people like us. Can it be killed? You ask. Zarius replies. You're looking for a quick solution, but there is none. You can't kill a titan with guns and knives. No, we must try to make the monster sleep. We must get Meecra's help. Okay, and last one. Check on the plane's cargo. The plane is at Henrik's camp, and the keyword art is not around, so we're going to do that. We've been robbed! Ed stands next to an open crate entirely devoid of any valuable artworks. All the crates are empty. I'm ruined. You're in another world, Ed. Why don't you not worry about your art collection? No, shouts Miguel, searching around the empty crates as though the missing art could have merely been misplaced. How could this happen? Azarius approaches, looking mildly concerned. What has been stolen? Art, explains Jesse, also searching around for potential clues. You know, paintings and stuff. Ed makes a living as an art trader. He had a big sale lined up in Honolulu. I see, says Azarius, his tone dismissive. This is about money, then. Aren't there more important things to worry about right now, like getting you all back home? It's not about money, snaps Ed. There was a... Ed glances at Miguel, looking suddenly guilty. Never mind, we need to get my stolen property back as soon as possible. This has to be our top priority, I insist on it. You agree to keep an eye out the next time you're at a market to see if you can catch anyone attempting to sell any of the stolen pieces. We got keyword art. Ed's collection was stolen from the cargo hold of the plane. We should be on the lookout for anyone trying to sell any of the stolen pieces. Well, I think that won't happen until we're in a big city. Alright, and that takes us to the end of our first day. We've got a quest over here at the lake where the twins went. We've got a temple hiding theoretically up in these mountains. And of course, we've got a forest and whatever's down here that's very close to explore. And we could just leave this page entirely or fly somewhere else. But let's forget all that for the moment and go back through things. So we get a bandage skill and a fire trap. Not loving that I'm taking these 6s out of the deck. And then we have another event. Nightly haunts. A wandering spirit haunts you at night. Okay. So the spirit drives one of our characters mad. That's lovely. But we get some honeycomb. Ooh, and honeycomb. Yeah. Honeycomb can heal weakness instead of us wasting / using Miguel's stamina. Madness means you can't use any abilities. I mean, at this point, I think Azarius has great stats that I'd rather use his stamina for skill checks instead of abilities. So sure, he's a bit crazy. And for the honey, might as well wait until somebody takes a damage before healing Jesse's weakened status. All right, with that, time to travel. I mean, this is so close that this seems to make sense, right? So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, and this takes us into our first wandering encounter. So basically, we get to each go around and do different things here, using our little character tokens to say who's going where and what adventures they have. So let's see. We can explore a dark cave, which will cost a 6 purple check. I think that's called Moxie. Or just a torch, which I have. That'd be a lot easier. That'll get us a quest card. We can mend an old coat. That's a 4 repair check. If we fail, we take 3 damage. By the way, when the failure does not say no reward, like this cave one does, you still get the rewards. Like if we mended the coat, even if we did fail and took damage, we would still get the coat card. We could climb an old tree, which would get us a quest card. We could solve the stone lockbox. That's a lot of damage. You can examine some tree carvings and sit and watch for trees. Those are safe. So we've got 5 people and 6 options. Sit and watch for trees sounds boring, but the best fixer-upper is Claire, so she can mend the old coat. The strongest person is Azarius, who's also the best at the stone lockbox. But you know what? Miguel's also pretty good at blue. Azarius can climb the tree. Jesse can explore the cave, and Ed can examine the tree carving since he likes art. There we go. All right, let's do a simple one first. Have Claire fix the coat. It's a 4 skill check, so there's a good chance she would pass it anyway, but she has 2 repair. We can make it a 2 instead of a 4. And we didn't need to. Okay, well, either way, we won. Ooh, look at this. We got a hooded coat that can ignore frost once. Or this is a block 2 during a combat, which I'm sure we'll see at some point. Okay, next let's have Azarius go climbing. Just looking through real quick. Okay, there's no way to boost him. I mean, buff I could do, which would give him also a permanent, +1 damage on each of his attacks. But that would, use basically all our cards, which seems maybe a bit much. But we'll just have him go for it with +2. He needs a 3 or higher. And he got it, but at least this time he would have failed without spending the stamina. Oh, what does he see? Thin branches are a haphazard ladder, arching as you climb to the top of the tree. To the north, behind a wave of fog, you spot the top of a bell tower. A huge falcon emerges from a window and flaps eastward until you lose sight of it. Huh, it's pretty interesting. So where is it? To the north, behind a wave of fog. I'm guessing north behind a wave of fog. So it's either the mountain we were going to go to anyway, or it's on the next page. So we won't worry about that one for now. Okay, next, the only skill check left. Let's have Miguel try to solve the lockbox. 6 blue. He's got 2. Can I boost his? Ooh, I can. I'll give him the banded skill. Cost me 1 more. Yeah, let's get rid of this buff. I just think it's too expensive. And then we'll spend 1, so now it's a 3 instead of a 6. And nice, he got it. Ooh, he found some gloves inside the lockbox. 3 defense. That's basically just going to stop 3 damage, so kind of like a 3 healing item. That's not bad. And then Jessie, we're just going to keep it easy and have her light her way with a torch like a normal person going into a cave, so she gets quest card 18. Ludi's Bait. A dormant totem that you can rejuvenate any time by discarding a lot of stuff we don't have. Okay, cool. So it's another totem, or the potentiality for a totem. And then finally, Ed's going to examine the carvings. Riddle rocks. You've learned how to find riddle rocks. When you're on an atlas square with this symbol, you may spend 1 time to attempt a riddle. Turn to a story depending on the atlas page. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I see one of those on the page we're on now, although it's a little bit out of the way of where I was going, but that's still pretty neat. And we didn't do this last one. Now, some entries will say that you cross it off on your minimap. Like if it had said to cross off 5, by the way, you can use this for taking notes and such. If it had said to cross off 5, we can never explore there again. But because it didn't say that, we could come back here and see what there was to see in the trees, but that would take me a whole 2 time just for the one thing, so I think we'll just let it be a mystery forever, at least for now. And we've got 2 time left, and now I really want to see if the temple's there and maybe that like thing that the guy saw. So I'm going to go 1, 2 to finish up this day. That takes us into another round. Okay, we've got a ton of eyeballs. We got to equip some of those. And some wits or quick-wittedness or something. Solid. Ooh, +2 health at the end of combat. That's pretty cool. And an event, that doesn't look good. A lightning storm. Thunder rolls over the mountains. Okay, so prepare for the storm. It's an 8 blue. Good thing we've got some really good blue people. If we fail, we get a 6 and another one of those weakened. If we succeed, or no, never mind. Whether we succeed or fail, we get a torch back. Nice. All right, so let's see. I could make a child's play by having them both help, but then we'd be out of stuff for them for a while. Let's take some chances. We have other ways to like reroll and such, and just have Miguel try to prepare us. So it's a 5 now instead of an 8. And our first chance. Okay. So we got a few options here. We could discard a matching. Nope, there are no blues in my hand, so that wouldn't work. We could use adventure cards, like the basic gear lets you draw a new fate card, or Meecra's Aid lets you add one. But we've also got Ed Lau, who can let us reroll once per turn, or redraw. So I guess we'll get rid of that 3, and we'll get a 5. Yeah, that's what we needed. So we fashion a torch out of some broken branches from the lightning storm, and we're good to go. All right, here we go. It's so tough to climb this mountain. The obstacle makes us take 3 damage. I know that there are different icons. Our hooded coat can help us ignore the damage for this spot, but not for that. Then we can divide the damage how we like. Azarius and Jessie have the most life, so I'm going to give Jessie 2 and Azarius 1. But then Jessie's going to eat some honeycomb to heal 1 and stop being weakened. She's back in the game. All right, now for 2 more time, let's check for this temple or this tower or whatever's here. Okay, if keyword temple, you may turn to 4.1, so don't look at the rest. Let's see what it is. Oh, just to remind you, this is from the map we found in Henrik's camp. That's giving us the keyword temple. A corridor of crumbling columns runs deep into the mountain, where darkness huddles in cracks and corners and gathers in the chambers ahead. Statues with round faces drip with yellowed cobwebs, their double tongues hanging out in cheeky expressions. Miguel inspects one up close. You could put this on Notre Dame and no one would blink an eye. Jessie creeps up behind him. Don't stand too close, it could bite. Miguel startles, and despite his proud posture, his face blushes red as an apple. Okay, explore the temple, lose 1 torch or 12 health, and gain frightened. Okay, turn back. Yeah, we'll lose the torch. I think, is it 12 health and gain? I think that's like a single option, and lose 1 torch is another option. Okay, we go to 4.3. Centipedes skitter underfoot. You follow their paths to a dark pool in the floor. As you peer into the water, ripples from the edge merge to form an amphibious face, its slimy voice coaxing you to come closer. Distant gods with sickly faces mourning. Wakened, they step beyond the sleeping tower. Hostile friends bestow these cursed tools, with power gods and mortals adorning. The face laughs. This is the riddle. What are the tools? Tell me the answer. You who dare explore this temple to Lude. As you listen to the words, your mind becomes muddled. Okay, so we got options here. Clear ahead and go deeper in the temple. Okay. Geez, cutting 12? That seems unlikely. Or try to solve the riddle. Write down a one-word answer on the campaign sheet. I mean, it's one word. The gods are sickly, and hostile friends bestow these cursed tools. Could it be the totems? Like the totems are cursed? I mean, totem's the only guess I've got. Let's try it out. If you answered any of the yay, totems, artifact. You answered correctly, yay! Oh man, more stuff. A pile of damp rubble blocks the corridor, crusted with a fine layer of lime and minerals. Strength 12. Fail, minus 10 health. A loose boulder tumbles down the pile. Yee. Well, Jessie's got a ton of stamina. Let's go ahead and give her solid. Okay, so that costs 1. You got a billion of these eyeballs. Let's get rid of one of those. Okay, so that's 2 strength. That'd be 4 strength with Azarius. Oh, geez, Miguel would only make it 5 strength? I feel like this is a fool's errand, y'all. Well, I've got a lot of cards, too. What the heck? Let's try it. Okay, so that's 5. Okay, 3. Let's redraw that. Using Ed's ability again. Okay, that's another 3. Let's redraw that with, where is it? There we go. Basic gear. Come on, something decently. Oh, yes, okay. I was going to, be ready to boost it with other powers, but let's just go 100%. After hours of scraping and digging, you enter the final chamber of the temple. A statue of a short, round woman with curly hair stands in the middle of the room, guarding a pool of water. Tiny clouds of silver light flutter from the glassy surface. They skim across the walls and up into the woman's face, lighting her stony expression with a wry, enchanting glow. She holds a fishing pole and a sword like frozen metal. The pole pries easily from her hand, and you cast the line into the pool. Out jumps a fish made of stone, eyes of diamonds, and as it touches the ground, it hardens into a lifeless statuette. You remove 1 diamond eye and put the fish back into the pool where it wriggles away. Man, what is making me do all this stuff? I feel like I would make different choices. Okay, complete quest 4, so that goes into the completed quest box, which I will note means we don't have the keyword temple, so we'll never be able to go down this path again. So they kind of, gate things correctly based on how you do this. And then we, get adventure card 7, Ice Blade. Haha, yeah. So this is a combat card and a really strong one. How combat works is it's a little bit of a deck builder. And you start out with 14 cards, and as you gain new combat cards, you can call old cards. You always have to have a deck of at least 14. And basically, you're going to draw a bunch of these each round of combat, and then you can play them on different characters and have them attack. This one is super powerful because it weakens the enemy counterattack, so they'll do less damage to everybody. And this one does a ton of damage. I mean, here, just compare. Look, Flank gets rid of 2 blue things and can do 1 damage. Ice Blade gets rid of 2 blue things and can do 3 damage plus a red die, which will on average add another 1 to 2 damage. So that's, as you can see, a billion times better. Yeah. And we get an Ice Diamond, which is one of these. We could throw it as basically an ice grenade to deal 8 damage to an enemy, but more importantly, look, it's one of the things needed for the belt, one of the 3 things needed for the Fire Blast Stone. This is how we get totems, people. This is how we win the game. And you know what the hey, I've still got 2 time left. Let's go ahead and see what else is here. So I may turn to 4.1, but I can't anymore. I don't have the keyword temple. You see the climbers before they notice you. Their bodies and limber and strong with the heads of horses. What? They ascend the jagged cliffs in deft silence. Harkians, mutters Azarius. Miguel inches forward to get a better look, but he trips, kicking rocks down the slope in a chorus of pops and cracks. The Harkians turn, sliding down the slope toward you with alarming urgency. Words catch in your throat as they snap their teeth and draw their weapons. Oh, here we go, combat. I mean, I don't know if I really wanted this, but combat, yay! All right, so here's how combat works. A lot of this is similar to the original Sleeping Gods. We take the cards, 4 in this case, which is an absurd number, shuffle them, and put them in a random order side by side. And then each of them gains power tokens, these little triangles, equal to the number of plus spots uncovered on their cards. These are going to boost their attack value. Basically, we're going to have a player turn where we each get to play one of those combat cards I showed you and deal damage to the enemies. But then whoever we attacked is going to attack back in a little counterattack with their attack value. For these guys, it is 2 plus the number of triangles, power tokens. So 4 for the captain and 3 for each of the guards currently. And to set up my stuff, I'm going to draw cards equal to the number of characters I'm controlling, which is 4. You don't count the captain. Plus 1, so 5. It does mean that when you're playing with more players, you get more cards overall. Like if each of us was controlling 1 character, we each get 2 cards. Oh man, is that the freaking Ice Blade? Yeah, it is. So I didn't draw it for this round. But what did I draw? I'm going to use 4 out of 5 of these. And each one's going to be one of my characters attacking. I can sub in Claire as an alternate for one of them, but the other 3 have to attack. So like I could do Jesse, Ed, Azarius, and Claire, or Miguel instead of Claire, that kind of thing. And the main symbols you're going to see, this little one with a crossed out triangle is going to get rid of those tokens and make them do more damage. The little like pot shield thing here is going to stop their counterattack damage by that much. The red value is how much damage I get to deal, sometimes boosted by a die roll or by somebody's stats. And some of them have a little crystal symbol here, which takes us back to the enemies and damage. Whenever you deal damage, like let's say somebody did 4 damage, you can pick any enemy to start on, any square of their card. Let's say that I wanted to attack the captain and went here. And then you can go adjacent orthogonally to any space you've covered with this attack. Each space costs 1 unless it's a heart, in which case it costs as much damage to cover it as the number in the heart. So like 4 damage would let me do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also splash into adjacent spaces on another card as long as at least half the damage that you're dealing rounded up is on the original card. And only the original card will actually deal counterattack damage to you. So like if I also hit the guard here, I would avoid their counterattack. And to explain what the enemy spaces do, when you cover up all of somebody's hearts, they are defeated, although they do get a final counterattack on you. These triangle spaces at the end of every round are going to boost the enemies even more, so they'll get stronger and stronger unless we take care of those. These ones are blocking damage. If I attack this person directly, it'll decrease the amount of damage I deal by that much, but that doesn't apply if I can splash into it and take it out. And then anything with an hourglass is going to happen at the end of the round during the enemy phase. So like this captain will deal 1 damage to every single one of us. I don't want that to happen. And then finally, here's the thing I was mentioning with the cards. Anytime you cover up a space with a synergy icon, this little red crystal like that, and you give those synergy tokens to another character, not the one activating, and they can use it when they play a combat card to activate the synergy ability. So there you go. It took a little while to get back to it. All right, so my first priority is to make sure the captain can't do this crud, because that's ridiculous. And then I'd like to splash into getting rid of this guard's shielding ability. So let's start out with somebody doing this disorient card on the captain. We'll say this Miguel. So he's going to take away 3 power tokens from the captain and block 1 of his counterattack. In this case, because all his tokens are gone, his counterattack is 2 plus 0, 2, so -1 is only 1 damage. And now Miguel's made him a lot weaker for everybody else to attack. All right, next let's have, I think Claire is going to sub in for somebody and do a big attack with this wrench. 3 damage plus a die roll. There's a -1 face to the die, but most of them are positive. And she's the only one who has at least 2 of the repair skills, so she'll get 4 plus a die roll. Just to show you, there's a -1, a 0, 1, 2, 1, 3. So slightly weighted toward the positive. And we got a 1. Okay, so what was it? It was 3, 4, 5. So let's see, we definitely want to get rid of that. So he's not going to deal 1 damage to all of us automatically. And then maybe 4. That was an extra 1. And then let's do 5. So he's not going to be getting boosted as much. And because we covered that up, we'll get to add this somewhere. Then we're going to give it to Jesse. I have a plan in a second. Okay, but then Captain does take the full counterattack, which is currently 2 from the Captain. And now pause for a second. I think I'm going to give Jesse Hawkeyed. And I'll discard Council for that. This will give her a reroll once per combat of the red die. Now with that in mind, I'm going to have her use this Whirlwind Hit. So she's doing 2 plus a red die. She's blocking 1. And she, with this, is dealing 1 damage to each adjacent enemy, which I think can go on any spot of theirs. I got the plan right here. Okay, so that was 2 plus a die roll, and she can re-roll it. Oh, nope, she's keeping that. So that's 5 damage. By the way, she was attacking the Harkian warrior. She's got 5 damage. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That guy's almost dead. And she's going to get to give another crystal to somebody else, who I think will be Ed. And then 1 damage to each adjacent enemy. Let's just get rid of the annoying blocking, right, I think. Now she has a single block, which cancels the +1, but she is taking 2 damage. Okay, we can have 1 more attack. I think it's going to be a Precise Strike. Ed's going to be the one doing it. Let's go into discard. So we're out of cards now to give him Fire Trap and 2 eyeballs, which means with his crystal, he's going to get rid of 1 of the power tokens on somebody. He's going to do 4 damage to that person, and he's going to block 1 damage. Heck yeah. Let's see, there's no hurry to kill this guy. He's not actually getting any stronger or helping in any major way. I think what I'd like to do to weaken people the most is I'll target the Harkian guard, so remove his 1 thing. And I get to do 4 damage, and at least half has to be on the guard. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. So now nobody's going to be getting any stronger except that guy. And with the defense, Ed's only taking 1 damage back. Nice. Okay, we keep the 1 card we had left. We discard all the rest. Okay, and then enemies gain power and activate end of round abilities. They don't attack except in counterattacking or unless they have abilities like that guy. So literally the only thing we got to activate is giving this guy 1 more purple or blue triangle. And then we draw 4 new combat cards to go with one we have. Hey, it's Ice Blade. And we do it all over again. Let's murderfy these guys. All right, so Ice Blade is better with a red. Machete just does potentially a ton of damage all by itself. Ooh, shoot! Haha, this one is +1 damage if somebody is crazy, and Azarius is crazy, baby. Ooh, and +2 more with a thing. All right, but only one person's got a lot of block on them, so let's have somebody use the Ice Blade first. Let's go ahead and make it Jessie, since she's still got the reroll a die power. And she's going to attack the Harkian Guard, so she gets rid of both of those. And she's doing 3 plus a die roll, and she can reroll it if necessary. Oh, yep, she will. And cool, 2. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, she can't quite kill the guy. Ooh, she can splash into there, though. Wait, where was this? Was that already there? I feel like it was. Well, in case it wasn't, I'll just go ahead and do it in a second. Yeah, so 1, 2. We'll get a crystal in a second. 3, 4. And the 5, maybe. Ice Blade has no defense, though, so Jessie does take 2 more. She's down to 8. And she's giving the crystal to Azarius. He's going to murder some people with his charge. Now, sadly, we just have a ton of, separate attacks to do here, but it's fine. Okay, we'll go ahead and Azarius charge first. Let's have him charge the captain. So he's doing 1 + 1 for his Moxie skill, +1 because he's crazy, and he's going to discard his little symbol there to get 2 more, so that's 5 total. And with all that, he's just going to go boop and boop, because that's the only place that 5 is really fully used. And he takes 2 damage back. He's down to 10. All right, next, I want to use Machete or Hidden Strike, but honestly, since I only need to do 2 damage to kill each of these guys, and the extra damage would pretty much be useless, let's go ahead and use Hidden Strike to block 1. And we'll have Claire use this since she's in the picture. And it doesn't really matter too much. Let's kill the captain and get the crystal for somebody. So she blocks 1 and takes 1 damage. Brings her down to 9, and she'll give the crystal to Ed for his attack in a second. And the captain is boop gone because all his hearts recovered. Okay, and then Ed can, what the hey, flank. He's only doing 1 damage, but with his affinity crystal, or whatever it's called, he blocks all their return damage. And sure, I guess he'll just... is this really worth it? Maybe we should just do the machete. Well, this takes all the luck out of it, so boom. All right, and they do absolutely nothing on their turn. And that... oh, wait, did I attack this guy? And take a... No. I splashed into him, didn't I? Okay, so we got a machete left. What new things are we drawing? A whip. That's good. Blocks all the... oh my gosh, a pistol. Taunt. Okay. And a double punch. All right. The pistol seems pretty good, right? If I can roll crazy good, I can actually kill 2 of these guys in 1 blow. Let's go for that with Miguel. Why not? He's barely hurt. All right, come on, Miguel. A 2 or 3 is the magic number here. Hey, let's go. That's 7. And we'll have him attack the guard that does not have bonus damage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We spent 4 over here and only 2 here. So we have the rule that works for splash damage. So both these guys are dead, and we only take 2 in response. So Miguel's down to 8. Boom. All right, all we have left is to do 2 damage. And unfortunately, yeah, none of the weapons that can do at least 2 will block any. So it's just somebody going to take 2 damage. Who do I want it to be? Looks like Ed is one with the most life, so let's say he does Taunt. So he's getting 1 plus his Cunning, so 3, more than enough, but he took the 2 damage. And the last horse head is dehorsified. Wah! And we do have 1 cool ability resolve at the end of combat. Jessie's solid lets her heal 2. So I don't think anybody lost more than 4 life. Yeah, 3. Jessie lost 3, and Anarius lost 3. Oh, and Ed lost 3. Actually, pretty much everyone lost 3. Okay, that's cool. But that does mean that a single rest, which heals 2 to each character, would get us all near to fighting shape again. All right, how will you reward my violence, game? Miguel watches the retreating Harkians. I feel like God is punishing me. Jessie punches Miguel's arm with a grin. Nah, you're just loud and clumsy. Miguel shrugs. Maybe that's how I messed things up with Ruby. Oh, is that his fiancée? Ed's daughter? I thought they were getting married. Ed stands on a nearby rock, brushing dust off his suit and scowling. She's been miserable lately. You better fix things when we get back to San Francisco. Oh, we get 2 Gorgon leaves, a torch, and a sand honey. Torch can do a damage anywhere on an enemy, by the way. You can just use that whenever. Sand honey's one we already saw. And Gorgon leaves can give +8 to a skill check, but again, these are for unlocking totems, so you don't really want to waste them on that if you can help it. That one needs a leaf. That one needs a gem. That one needs 2 leaves. Okay, cool. So no, I cannot get a totem yet. All right, and that seems like a good place to stop for now, with you having seen a little bit of everything the game has to offer: combat, skill checks, those new wandering encounters. Where might I go to next? Well, I could go north to try to find that tower the guy saw. I could go see what's down here, or here, or here, or here. I could go solve the riddle there. I could go here to the lake where those people are supposed to be, or over here to that waterfall, or over here. Lots of places to go. And that's just 1 out of 9 spots on the map. God Eye. Oh, that's where I'm supposed to escape to, right? Flying machines over here. Oh man, Stormlock City. I bet they're selling stuff for that one quest I had. The art that they might have stolen. Maybe they're in Thistletown or Losifa, or Milius, or anyway, lots of places to go. But that's a little taste of Sleeping God's Distance, guys. I will be doing a review of this one once I play it some more. Maybe not until January. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try to play enough to properly rank this on my end of the year list. And at the end of some videos, we like to thank our co-op champions, our biggest supporters on Patreon. So I'd like to give a shout out to Minkus, J. Willie MF, and Steve Wren. Thanks, patrons, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you at the next stop.